All right, week 4 is coming up in the NFL. Welcome everybody to Fantasy Radar. It's our second show here on CIH Media. I'm gonna
Sorry.
change that to
Bro,
the opening music. I think that'll be great.
what, me doing the do?
Yes, just your voice doing
Okay.
that.
You know
That'll
what?
be well,
Actually, everybody says I have the sound of a voice of an angel.
wonderful. And with
There you go.
with AI and all that stuff being part of the Writers Guild of America contract that's about to be voted on soon, maybe we can mess with it a little bit, see what it sounds
Sure.
like, and that'll be our opening.
No problem. You know what? I heard though some of the writers aren't going to be. They're all not going on back to work, but we'll talk. That's a discussion for another day.
Right. Check out our newest podcast coming soon. No, okay. I'm kidding.
How to defeat SAG.
And now to defeat. Oh, geez. So I don't know. How did your fantasy week go last week? Because mine was
I'll tell you one thing. You know what? My fantasy week was absolutely stellar.
good.
Baseball, and you know what? I was looking for. I don't need a Burger King, but I should have stopped by and got a Burger King crowd because I won my first fantasy baseball
No way.
in 18 years. Yes,
Holy smokes.
I did. So I was,
Good for you.
I got a bunch of congratulations, which was very nice. But I had to root for the Twins. Joe Ryan. I picked I had to trade him for that. Who's the first baseman for the Diamondbacks? Walker.
Walker, yeah.
And everybody criticized me about that, but you know what? He's pitched against the Angels, and you know what? Thankfully, he shut him down. And then I actually had to go to an old pal, Lance Lynn, for the Dodgers, and
Wow.
he had a good game. And thankfully, that their catcher didn't do anything offensively, and I eked one out in the final. So I got my first final win ever, and so at least in baseball, and I really enjoyed it. But then on top of it, in football, I benched a lot of players that I picked up last week, and I actually one that I'm going to talk about too. And one was the wide receiver for the Texans. What's his name? TD.
Oh yeah, Tank
Dell. Is it
Tank Dell? There you go.
Tank Dell. Yeah.
I
left him on the bench, and then I'll tell you who else I left on the bench. But I still won by like 40 points. So I had the second or third highest in one league, and then a couple other leagues. I mean, I was I think I was above 500, which was good. But the one league that I really cherish, that I want to win now too, I'm right in the thick of things too. And I mean, the weird part about it is though, you have to know your leagues, and I think that's one important thing that you have to I want all our viewers to know, because you know what, I was never notified about the wide receivers, because we used to do 15 yards per point, and they dropped it to 10 this year.
Yeah, so, it's 10 in my league.
Yeah, and so that makes a huge difference, especially
it really does.
With the way they're throwing the ball around now. So even though I took Austin Eckler in the first round in this league, I mean, I'll still be okay because I had Chris Olave as a keeper and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We'll discuss that another day, but it still makes a big difference. And I just got to find that quarterback, and you know what? We'll talk about that as we move forward, because I don't think that number one Chicago is the answer. So we'll take it from there.
Nope, and the one we're going to talk about, I was stunned when I read your assessment for this week, but we'll get to that in a bit. And the other thing that I will mention later on when we get to it is you made a prediction on the show last week that almost came down to the yardage correct. But we'll talk about that later.
You know what? I was pretty correct with almost a lot of my picks, honestly. I was actually pretty impressed. I was like going, you know what? Hey, I'm pretty good at this stuff. So
yeah, you are. And that's why we're doing this show. And that's why I'm the host, and I let you do all the analysis.